people. We are back. A2TP podcast, episode 127, and we are back. It's your boy, International Walk.
It's your girl, Tosh, the co-hostess with the mostest.
And we are back for another episode of us. You guys can catch us on A2TPodcast.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, and Twitter. How are you?
I'm okay. I was good, probably an 8. Financially, a 10. Work is a 10, definitely. And physically, I'm a 9. Yeah, feel good physically.
Do you want to elaborate on any of them?
He got on my nerves a little bit before the show, so it kind of messed up my mental. Probably was at a 10. But we'll get past it, I'm sure.
Is it all about you?
It's what all about me?
Just everything. Like,
No.
What about you getting on my nerves?
Okay.
How did I get on yours?
I told you it was only going to take me 20 minutes to do my hair. Right? And we don't have like a set show time, but I know around the time that you want to start the show. And your whole, like, you didn't even have your ramp up music or anything like that. No, because
I don't know how to explain it to you like in a simpler form, but it's like I get tired of waiting on you. Like, I get tired of waiting on you. And I know you said you was going to do your hair and be done by a certain time, or it take you 20 minutes. But you say that about everything. Everything takes you 20 minutes. So I had no faith in you getting done in 20 minutes at all, because you say everything takes you 20 minutes. So that's how I figure. I'm up here, I'm dressed in 2 seconds, and I'm ready to go. And sometime I would like to start the show earlier than we do, so that maybe I can have a little evening time. So that's how I be thinking. Even though we get done early and it be 7:30 or whatever time it was, you have a sense of, oh, I got a half hour because we're going to start around 8 o'clock.
Well, I mean, that has been the norm, and
That's been the norm, but can we ever start on time? I mean, on early, even when we have time. Even when we have time. You say you got all this free time throughout the day, the extra free time. Well, but I still have to wait on you for everything.
So if the precedent that has been set is that we start around 8 o'clock, how am I to know, okay, like in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, let me make sure I'm ready by 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Like that was what was in my mind. Like, let me make sure I'm ready. Was I not?
No, the precedent has been...
Was I not ready by 8 o'clock? You
were a few minutes late. It was like 8:03 if you want to be technical. So you wasn't ready by 8 o'clock, but it wasn't like I was pissed off or mad like you was 20 minutes late or something. But you don't understand that I wait on you for everything. You just skip over that. I wait on you for everything. When we go somewhere, I got to wait for you to get dressed. Anytime we doing something, I got to wait for you. So it's the show, I got to wait for you. And so you don't understand that.
I know that you wanted to start early today.
Well, I would like to start the show every week early if we can. When we get done, when we get done eating, I always tell you, okay, I'm ready to go. And you always be like, okay, I got to do this, or I got to poop, or whatever it is you got to do. It's always after we eat, and it's like, okay, I want to start now or in 10 minutes because we're a half hour early.
So I got to push my poop. I got to hold my poop in?
No, I'm not saying you got to hold it. Today wasn't a poop, but today you was like, I'm going to do my whole head before the show. Why couldn't you do that?
20 minutes.
Okay.
Because in my mind, I'm thinking be ready by 8 o'clock.
Right. We got done eating dinner like 20 after 7. So I would think to myself,
no, it was like 7:35.
Okay, maybe we can get done early and I can have a little evening time and not just be like, okay, we're done and it's 9:30 and I want to go to bed because I got to get up at 3:30.
Okay,
so that's where it's
you said
I express that every week. Can we do the show early? Every week I express that.
Babe, we've even acknowledged the fact that even when we do plan accordingly and we do have some time, maybe our bodies is just used to it. Like, we always end up starting around the same time. Not any fault of mine or yours. It just happens that way.
No, it's a fault of yours because you trickle in here at 8 o'clock. Because like you said,
I'm sitting waiting for you.
No, like you said, that's your body who thinks, okay, this is the precedent that's been set. I'm not saying you're intentionally like, I'm going in there at 8 o'clock. But you just have that slow bop about you because you think I have time. And if you don't ever think, damn, maybe we can get done 20 minutes early. Maybe we can get done a half hour early. You don't do that because I guess you feel like I'm not going to rush myself. So I'm going to be in there by 8 o'clock.
Thus, my mental is an 8.
Okay.
How are you today?
I'm good. My mental was a 9 and went to an 8 too because she pissed me off before the show. Well, that's a little strong. I wasn't pissed off, but I was a little irked because sometimes she act like she don't hear me.
But you did not. Yes, in prior weeks, you may have expressed that. Hear you what? You even said to me at 7:50. I'm sorry, I don't mean to holler. You even said at 7:50, babe, you know we need to start in 10 minutes. I said, okay, I know. So implying
What are you
8
talking
o'clock.
about? Weeks ago?
No, I'm talking about today.
Today I said we need to start at 7:50?
No, at 7:50 you said, babe, you know we need to start in 10 minutes.
Right.
Right. Implying in 10 minutes being 8 o'clock.
But I was sitting in there for 15, just sitting on the edge of the bed. I could have started 15 minutes ago. That's what I'm saying. When I came upstairs and you was in the bathroom doing your hair, I put on shorts and a t-shirt. How long you think that took?
Usually,
of 90
you
seconds?
play music, you be rolling up.
I know, but I already had rolled up. But I don't have to tell you that. I don't have to disclose to you.
There does need to be some communication, babe. I prepped a little early, so just like in prior weeks where you have said.
So I'm going to express in future weeks that I would love to get to start early, and I'm going to see how you react to it. Or you going to just say, you know what, I got dishes to do, or I got this to do. I got to put the kitchen up. And it's like, okay, that's what you do because you trolley in here at around 8 o'clock.
I'll rearrange my life to make sure.
God. Y'all see the spectrum that I'm talking about?
I'll rearrange my life to make sure that I'll be ready by 6 o'clock.
Here's a person with a brand new job who says, I got all this free time during the day. But so why you ain't wash your hair today?
First of all, I was
why you ain't wash your hair
outside.
today?
You know that.
Well, outside what? Okay, you had something to do.
Yeah, I was outside. So then I did wash my hair earlier, and when you came home, I wanted to kind of communicate with you a little bit. I did start prepping dinner, but I'm going to rearrange my entire life when on the day of the show, I will be ready at 6 o'clock with heels on, waiting.
For all y'all out there, if it takes a person to rearrange their whole life to be ready for one day, that's sad. It's just sad.
I just want to make sure
it's just sad though. When you hear people, because words matter. And when you hear a person say, I'm going to rearrange my whole life just for one day, that means from 0 to 100. There's no middle spectrum in here. It's just 0. Either I'm coming in here at 8 o'clock or I'll be in here at 4 o'clock sitting here with my hands like this, waiting on you. But there's no middle ground. There's no like, you know what, babe, you right. I'm going to try to come in here at 7:30.
No, this is not a you right issue. I said I will be done my hair in 20 minutes. I was done my hair in 20 minutes. Like, in order for us to start at 8 o'clock, because that is the precedent that has been set. But now you're letting me know that's not even good enough. So I will make sure that I'm ready prior to that.
That's cool. If you made sure you was ready prior to the show.
Yep.
That sounds like a professional thing to do.
Why can't you say, babe, you know what? You said 20 minutes and you was right. It only took you 20 minutes.
Why? Because this ain't a right thing.
But you just said that. Why couldn't I say you was right?
You just told me it wasn't a right thing. So don't ask me to tell you right, because it ain't a right thing. If you chastised me and told me it ain't a right thing, you don't get to be told you right.
But wasn't I right about finishing my hair?
I said that earlier, yes.
Okay.
But you wasn't in here by 8 o'clock. It was 8:03.
We get a 6-minute grace period.
Who just made that up?
Life gives you a 6-minute grace period for everything.
I call bullshit.
Everything in life gives
you get one bullshit. I call bullshit.
Even if you go to work and you're supposed to be there at 8 o'clock, you're not technically late until 8:06.
Now I don't know what type of rule you live by, but when you got to be to work at 5, 4:45 is on time. 4:45 is on time. If you there at 5 o'clock, you late. So what you talking about? If you got to be anywhere at 8 o'clock and you there at 8 o'clock, you late. You unprofessional. You know that. So don't give me that jazz. You know that. So be there at 8:45. That's on time. So you can get your thoughts together. Calm your breathing down. Do a good job.
Can I tell you something?
You can always tell me something.
I am sorry that I didn't take good pictures with you.
Mm-hmm.
We always take pre-show pictures, and I couldn't fake it and be phony and smile.
She just won't see her posted this week. That's all. She didn't.
We
smile
can't
in her
take
pictures.
other pictures.
No, she didn't smile at her pictures, and that's it. We take them then, so you'll see your boy up this week.
I take that on the chin.
You know what I mean?
I can't be. He knows I'm never fake or phony, and we aren't fake or phony with each other. And in that moment, I was feeling.
Took them. You should have
feeling.
just not took them. You should have just spoke your truth and said, "Babe, I don't feel like taking these pictures." I'd have said, "All right, let's start." You ain't got to
We
take
have
the
some
pictures.
serious face pictures sometimes.
Nah, that's on purpose. Not like because there's little static, a little tiff. Not beef,
I'm never
tiff.
phony with you in that moment. I couldn't be, but we can take some pictures when the show.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
You're not gonna take pictures with me.
But they're not gonna go up with the podcast.
I don't care
thing.
about that. You want to take pictures with me?
No, I'm good.
Okay. How are you mentally? You're still at an 8.
Yep. I'm an 8.5 right now. I got a little better.
Because I made you smile.
Finance. No, because you always talking shit, and stop playing with me.
Who's playing with you? First of all, who's playing with
me, man?
Who's playing with you?
No, for real, Ty. Stop playing.
Whatever.
You always talking
What's your
shit.
finances
Stop
looking
playing
like?
with me.
What's your finances looking like?
I don't know what
you sounded like you got beef.
I don't have no beef. I have zero beef. That's my point. But stop fucking playing with me.
Look, change your tone.
I ain't got no tone. I'm smiling. Look. But stop playing with me. For real. You trying to play me.
What's your finances?
Finances is a 10. Thank you, Jesus. Work is a 9.
Oh, it's not a 10. You just go. Well, 9 is still good.
Well, I work with people, and people be having issues, so that brings work down a little bit. Physicality, I am in 9. Had therapy today. Therapy is always a great day.
Physical therapy.
Physical therapy, yeah, not mental therapy. Physical therapy. So just staying working on the body, getting everything I can out of working out, and feel good. So
I'm happy that you're in a better mental space in terms of your physicality. I think therapy is helping you to come to grip, not that you hadn't already, but it's helping in the process of coming to grips with, it was what it was. Things could have been worse. Thank God they weren't, and thank God, like this is like the victory, if there is any to be seen from a valley moment.
I would say a small victory. Yeah, I mean it's not the ultimate victory, but it's a small victory. I would agree. But it is what it is, and I think I'm probably gonna buy a treadmill after this is all over with, just so I can still do what I was doing Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Mm-hmm. That's all, just to keep at it.
You don't do the elliptical? Just
today I did.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because the lady was on my machine, my crank machine.
How did you like that?
I didn't.
Let me tell. Can I tell you my elliptical story? The first time I ever got on an elliptical, I did 5 minutes and was done. And I felt like,
not that it was hard. It was just awkward movement. I don't like me moving like that. Didn't feel strenuous. Just felt like I was moving.
Well, you gotta mess with the tension.
I was on level 10.
Okay, and there's different kinds, because there's like the skiing kind, then there's the kind where you feel like your legs going up.
I wasn't on the skiing kind, but just the motion that it spreads your legs out wider than I would normally walk on a treadmill. Yeah. So it just felt weird, like I wasn't getting tension where it felt like I was exercising. Just felt like I'm moving. I kept boosting the thing up to 7, and then I went to 8, and then 9, and 10, and 10 felt like, okay, this feel like I'm gonna get a little burn, but then it was like, I just feel like I'm spread out moving like this.
You couldn't bring them closer? Because some of them do that.
Maybe I ain't know how to work it right.
Okay. I just said it to say, my first experience, I did 5 minutes. And I thought, like, these people that be on the treadmill are like aliens. Mm. And then gradually I got up to, like, being able to do, like, an hour. So, that was just my treadmill. I mean, my elliptical machine. My wow this week, my wow is even though he shut my window right now, even though he pissed me off a little bit, a few moments ago, I have an amazing husband. Did you give me the finger?
Nope.
And you didn't write me a note before the show.
You tried to play me, Tosh. You want to take stuff away from me?
Nah.
You took your fucking smile away from me in your picture. Then you don't do that.
Do we need to call the doctor?
No, I think we need to promise each other that when you get into a fucking tiff, don't start taking shit away.
I can promise that. And can
Then
you
I can
promise
promise
that?
it.
Okay.
Okay.
Even though he got on my nerves, I do have an
Good for the goose,
amazing.
good for the gander.
All right,
I
don't
don't know
keep
what a
talking
gander
trash
is.
though.
No, because
Don't keep talking trash because I don't want to talk trash. But if you keep talking trash, that's gonna make me.
Say what you gonna say, man.
I have an amazing husband, despite the demonstration that's being put on display now. And this weekend, he surprised me. You know, y'all know we love our date nights and our dates in general. Dates don't always have to be at night. They don't always have to be Friday. I love day dates, but he surprised me with a date experience, I'll call it. Wanted to go to see Jasmine Sullivan. Initially, when I mentioned it, he was like, you know, it wasn't the right time. And, you know, it is what it is. And I sing around this house all day long. So sometimes I have like Jasmine Sullivan sessions along with other people. But Saturday, you know, prior to Saturday, he told me we had plans for Saturday. Saturday came, you know, he told me to get dressed, time to be ready, blah, blah, blah. We hit the road. I fell asleep. I had went to bed real late Friday, early Saturday morning, then had to get up for a work event. So in the car, I fell asleep. I woke up, we on the highway, and he cursing me out. He wasn't even looking at the road. He was staring at me. And we ended up in Atlantic City. It was just beautiful, and I appreciate it. Like, I appreciate the thoughtfulness, you know. I mean, we have, again, dates. We dates are essential, you know, and with friendships, with especially with relationships, marriages to us. So I just appreciate the thoughtfulness that was put into it. It was a great day. I want to say evening, but it started kind of early because I think we left like 4 o'clock. So it was a great day, and I really appreciate it. You my dog. Wait, no, do that again. All right.
Woes.
My woe. I would say these. I don't know if I can call them disasters, but these occurrences that are happening around the world. One, the fires, right? The fires. And just not,
the bees,
right? The fires, the bees. It was hailing today, and then sun. The highway collapse. Like, y'all better read Revelations, and I'm telling y'all that because I'm about to start reading it because I know it say some stuff. I just don't know everything that it say, but it
says the 95 is going down.
It is a time happening in this world, and I mean, things happen, and they have since time immemorial. But we just have to be aware. But the bigger woe in all of that is the fires are really scary because we don't know what the long-term effects are going to be of this whatever we were breathing in on a small capacity, on a small scale, and even on a larger scale. You know, of course, as the smoke moved overnight, that day when we had it really bad, the air quality, y'all know we talked about air quality last episode. The air quality in the Philadelphia area had went up to 410.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it was in the middle of the night, so everybody is sleeping, but I'm sure there are some people out. And you know who? It really made me think about the homeless people.
Homeless people, everybody has air conditioned units that uses outside air to, you know, cool off and push into a house. So, yeah, it's something to worry about. Again, and that's more hurtful because it's such minute levels at long periods of time.
Yeah.
And you're sleeping, you're taking deep breaths in and like unmolested breaths in and out, in and out, in and out while you sleep, and you breathing that shit right to your lungs. So it's a problem.
Yeah, and those people in New York who, you know, closer to the fires, it's just really scary. So that's the wall of just like, sheesh, something else to be thinking
and
about.
It's 2023, 9/11 happened in 01. Most of those firefighters are already passed on. Most of them. Yeah. So just think about that. Like, most of those guys.
Yeah. How about you? What's your wows and woes?
My wow was just the fact that, you know, taking you to the concert to piggyback on what you were saying, you know, wherever you at, I want to be. And I just like being out with you. I like, even though sometimes you think I don't hear you, I like to do stuff for you and see you smile and have a good time. And that was like one of those shows where, it was grown, it was sexy, and, you know, we were there together, but it was more of a ensemble that you like and you're familiar with. So just to sit back and see you laugh and smile and dance and, you know, sing was just, you know, that's I'm proud of that.
Thank you.
So that's I'm good with that. My woe is Eddie. That's all I'm gonna say. That's just my woe. I can't give too much detail, but my woe is Eddie. My man, I'm praying for you, bro.
Me too. I don't know what it is, but if he's praying for you, I'm praying for you.
Yeah, we fuck with you over here.
It's funny, I was just talking about Eddie the other day.
Why? What did he do?
No, he didn't do anything. I was saying, you know, he was a cool guy.
He is.
Yeah.
He's a cool motherfucker. Eddie, you know, he was a gangster in the 80s, cold murdering motherfucker. 95 people, story of Philadelphia. The 95 tanker truck drove through there, brand new piece of highway, just got built 5 years ago, caught fire, man died in the midst of fire. And
horrible.
You know, just like the towers, the heat and, you know, can melt steel and all that shit, the road collapsed and buckled. And it's a big fucking thing across the city, across New Jersey. Everybody trying to scramble and find ways to get home. I myself, just like when y'all see Jersey tags over in Philadelphia, y'all be like, get the fuck out of here, what y'all doing here? Well, when I seen Pennsylvania tags clogging up my 295 today, I was like, get the fuck out of here. Don't come over here with y'all cars clogging up our shit. Because when I was coming home from therapy, the other side was packed. And with a bunch of Pennsylvania tags, bunch of Philly people.
People got to do what they got to do.
You don't be coming over Jersey.
But you know what's crazy? Like, that has impacted so many people's commute. Somebody was saying that they have a family member, whatever, who catches the train. And they were saying how now the trains are so crowded. And then on the opposite end, for people where maybe the train isn't an option, who have to drive and commute, you talking about adding like an hour onto your commute. That's a 295 big
was
difference.
Fucked up on the other side. I'm glad I don't have to go down that side at that time, but you just can see the overflow of people trying to get home the quickest way. And I'm sure it's going to take a few weeks to figure out. But everything, bridges, all that kind of shit was congested. And, you know, keep your asses out of our state. Like, we don't be coming over there with our problems. Don't come over here with y'all.
People got to get the word.
But no, on a serious note, the 95, I think off the top of my head, this road connects 13 states from Maine to Florida. It might be 12, I don't know. But a lot of states on the East Coast, 95 run through. The White House had to be called and spoken to.
Yeah, because it's an interstate.
Yeah, it's an interstate. And, you know, you could have, like, you can't have no motorcades on it now, obviously, that's coming from anywhere up north, because that's not going to happen. But what do you think about what happened with the 95?
You know, it's weird because...
I'm 46 this year, God willing, and I've never seen the interstate breakdown.
Well,
like,
not here, but I heard a story in, I want to say 2015, I think it was, maybe 2018. I'm not sure. I-85 in Atlanta, similar situation collapsed. You know, the strange thing, it just makes you think, we know, if you live in the Philadelphia area, how long 95 had been under construction.
And still is in some spots.
I mean, it is, but it feels like that area that collapsed, it feels like that was the bigger part because they had expanded it to 6 lanes.
The Allegheny to Armingo area, them jug handle, all that shit was brand new.
Well, where we used to live in New Jersey, when we moved there, like where they are connecting the Betsy Ross Bridge and Aramingo Avenue, in 2008, this was not done, and it's 2023, and they are still completing it. Mm-hmm. The crazy thing about that is, when I saw the story about Atlanta, there was some structural engineering person, whatever, saying in situations like this, they can expedite the repairs, which sounds a little crazy because I don't know if we want it to be done quickly, but you want it to be done to the best of the ability. But they said in Atlanta, 43 days. How is it that y'all can do that so quickly, but yet it's taking y'all 15 years to like do this?
When it's bid like that, that's what it is. It's bid like that. So you don't want to complete it in an earlier time frame because you wouldn't make the money that you were supposed to make on it. So when PennDOT puts these things out for bid for companies, you get 3 bids. and obviously they take the lowest one, but that's how the money is paid out over time. So you have to take that amount of time to do the work because they're going to take that amount of time to pay you the money.
God forbid, though, somebody who started on the job 20 years ago could not even be alive to see the finished product.
Or it could be people that started on that part in 2008 and retired in 2022.
And their son could be working on the
like I
highway
retired
now.
on that, and we started in 08.
And it still ain't done.
Yeah.
But it was just amazing when I heard them say 43 days. Because first they were just saying it could be done in a few weeks. What's a few? Few is one of them subjective
3
numbers.
to 6 weeks, I think, is a few weeks.
Well, they quantified it to say Atlanta was done in 43 days. So that's giving some comparable data to say, hey, it's possible. 43 days is a month and 6 weeks, a month and a half. So, I mean, it's interesting to hear that it could be done that quickly.
And I heard that they're going to build it a little wider since it's broken down. Because, again, when they build these roads, a lot of them are obsolete before they're even done.
Yeah, just like 76.
Yeah, but they said they're going to, it's whatever it was, it's going to be bigger.
Yeah, I mean, it's, condolences to the gentleman's family, Mr. Moody.
Nathaniel Moody.
Yeah, but it's really sad and scary. We see these trucks riding up and down the highway all day long when you on the highway, and I mean, of a tanker truck carrying fuel crashes that it can explode, but it's like one of them things that like you see in movies, you don't ever think it really will happen, especially in your area. Like when I seen the picture when somebody first posted it, I was like, is this like, I thought it was some kind of historical something. I didn't know that like this had just happened. It was a little mind blowing.
Tanker trucks crash every day. I mean, some of them are carrying milk, some of them are carrying flammable liquids.
Right. I mean, and you can tell based on how the truck is labeled. Yeah. But I think most people always assume they're carrying
oil or gas or something like that. But they're not all. They're tanker trucks.
Yeah.
They move.
Some of them carry grain.
Yeah, they move liquid from places to places. But again, it could be milk. It could be anything. Yeah. But it could be alcohol. But this time it was a flammable fluid, and it had to explode for him to die. Like be caught in the truck because obviously if it was a small fire you would think a person would jump out.
Yeah,
so it had to be like a massive explosion from the drive.
Like maybe he hit something.
Yeah.
One of the things
hold on, but what do you think the time frame is? If you had to bet, would you over 3 months, 6 weeks?
I'm gonna say 3 months. But especially if if they're stating that they're going to expand it, I'm gonna say that by Labor Day weekend they're gonna have it together.
Wow, I think they would probably have to have it done before that because this is one of them situations where I was reading about where all road construction in the city stops and everybody's there. Yeah, everybody is there and manned to it. And once they probably have the construction company that's going to do the work by now because this happened, on the weekend. Yeah, they probably have the company that is going to do the work, but they moved it already. Like it's going.
Yeah, they had to clean up the rubble to start right away. And also that's part of the investigation because they have to be able to identify. I mean, it's not necessarily where was the fault because that kind of fire, like there could have been no fault in the road, just the fire created it.
From an engineering standpoint, they're going to want to see what the beams did, so that they can rate newer beams or heavier steel or different number steel or whatever. But obviously the steel that we had, we thought under normal circumstances would last if just cars were going over it. But if it's going to tanker truck situation, they probably didn't game plan for that.
The blessing in this, if there is any to be found, is that it happened because of a fire and not that the road just collapsed because the fire stopped traffic.
Right.
Because people saw the smoke. Had it just collapsed, there would have been more fatalities probably because cars would have, fell along with it. In this scenario, other cars stopped and where they didn't continue through the smoke, which stopped there from being additional fatalities.
And even on the opposite side, it got so hot that road buckled down. Yeah. So there's going to be repairs on that side too because let me see if I can. The tensile strength in that steel and asphalt is compromised, so they're gonna have to, make some repairs on that too.
I mean, and
because the people on the video showed their car on the opposite side going and dropping down 6 inches a foot and then coming back up. That means the asphalt got got all warpy and
Yeah.
shit.
The crazy thing is, I just literally was on that road. That happened what, Saturday or Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
I was on that road Thursday. You know, I had went to another show in the city, and coming home up that road, getting off at the Betsy Ross exit to come home. Not only that, my sister lives in that area of the Tacony section, and my mom lives off of Woodhaven. So that is the way from one house to the next. Like that, when you think like that's one of those situations that's like, oh, this isn't just like something happening. Like this is a part of like so many people's lives that we know are impacted by
They
this.
said 160,000 cars a day go down 90 up and down 95. So it's not just us in Philly going to work. I know it can be perceived like that, like it's just our road, but people are driving through on vacation, coming from different fucking states. Like it's an interstate. It's how you get from state to state.
Mm-hmm. Not only that, now you got people getting off and going into like, I mean, not too far into neighborhoods, but like now going up the boulevard. The boulevard is already a hassle.
They gave like the next day. I think they gave 3 alternate routes, and the number 1 route was the boulevard, which the boulevard can't handle the traffic that it has, let alone another 100,000 cars.
Yeah.
So that was fucked up. Then the last resort was to tell people, look, go over the bridge at Trenton if you're coming down, like, because they said don't wait till you get to Woodhaven, or don't when you're coming down, and don't wait till you get to Cotton when you're coming up to get off.
Right.
Get off way before that, because you know they blocked already.
Right.
So when you coming down, get off in Trenton and ride down in Jersey and come over. But again, that clogs up New Jersey on 130. For the people in Jersey, now all of a sudden you wake up in the morning going to work on 130 and you like, what the fuck? Like, it's a lot of cars out here clogging this up.
But the people, I'm sure the people on the Ben Franklin are like being overworked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean the Betsy Ross, people can still go over that, but then you can't get off to go to 95. You get off to go.
They're directing people to 130 and 295. With somebody in Philadelphia who usually just shoot down 95, that you gotta wake up an hour earlier, because you gotta come into Jersey, get on 130 or 295. That ain't an easy road to just jump off and jump back in Philly.
And if you don't normally have to pay a toll, now you have to consider
gas, tolls.
Yeah.
So it's a huge inconvenience to the East Coast. Like a huge inconvenience. But I think if I had to bet on it, I would think 6 to 8 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks.
So by August.
Because it's that important. It's just that important. Somebody gonna ask me, you think this is it you? Do I think it's terrorists?
Well, somebody did. So initially, I thought it was plausible only because I do understand why they have to be tight-lipped. They can't release all of the information. It was a little suspect in the beginning when they said they identified, or the company who the truck belonged to, identified, or the man owned his own truck from what I heard, but the company identified that he was an employee of their company, but they had to confirm what was being carried. And it was just like, why didn't you ask that when you was talking to the company? But
yeah, that would make me think about terrorism, but I get it if they're being a little secretive about what was in the truck.
And I can't take credit for that thought. It what somebody else had mentioned, and it just was like
terrorists wouldn't do that though. There's nobody
blow up the highways.
Blow up that part of the highway. It's nothing to kill.
People.
One person died. Nobody else died.
Well, it could have been a defaulted attack if it was, but no, I don't believe that it was.
What terrorists would do, they would drive white vans in a timely order and synchronization to the middle of the bridges. The Walt Whitman, Betsy Ross, Tacony, Ben Franklin, and the other one.
Burlington Bristol.
The Burlington Bristol and the Commodore Barry. And when they all got to the middle and synchronization, they would blow the vans up and blow a gaping hole in every bridge.
I think I'm probably going to block that out.
That's what terrorists would do. They wouldn't like burn a little overpass down. So I hope the 95 get back. I think 8 weeks. You think what?
I'm thinking 12, closer to 12 weeks.
But you Philly motherfuckers stay your asses over there. Don't be coming over our state with that, with them emissions and shit like that. Y'all stay over there. Question going around the internet. Well, it was a video, but this is really mind blowing to me. And of course, let me preface this by saying I'm not categorizing every woman. I would never do that. So this isn't about every woman. But there was women asked on Instagram, would you rather date a married man who says yes 100% of the time, or have your own man who says yes 50% of the time?
40%, I think, and said yeah. Or who? Yeah,
it was 45-55.
Okay.
For the sake of the shout out, 50, 100.
Okay.
It's close enough. It's 5%. So would you rather date a married man that tells you yes 100% of the time, or have your own man that tells you yes 50% of the time?
You know, I saw...
And so 11 people answered, and I think one person said, I would want to have my own man who told me 50% of the time. And when she was asked why, she said, because I need to be told no sometimes.
Yeah.
And this is a black girl. Yeah, she said, because I need to be told no sometimes. So, yeah, shout out.
But why did you say this was a black girl? Why does it matter if she was a black girl?
Because I wanted to put that out there. Unpopular opinion. Women ain't shit.
I don't think that it matters that she was a black girl. But shout out to her because she was very
of melanin.
She was very honest and transparent in that. And I think women say that, girls say that, you know, like, I don't want to be told no. But this married man, like, most women can say that they wouldn't mind sharing a man, but when it comes time and he gotta go home, or he can't take you on dates,
how you know these women ain't speaking from what they want? If they said they answered the question, that's what they want.
No, that's what
they want to deal with it.
I'm saying that's what they think they want, just because of it being prefaced in that way of somebody who don't tell you no until you find yourself in that situation.
Yeah, but I think you're starting to analyze them. And how about if that's just what they want? For the sake of the conversation, that's what they pick. So
no, I agree. That's what they picked, and that's what they, until they find themselves in it. And I think some will regret their decision, because, like you said, the morals that come with it when you done decided to be with this married man just because he's telling you yes, but
my point
you ain't getting what you want out of what you really want.
Okay, is there a level of this generation not having those morals in place? And I'm not condemning, but I'm just saying how generations change. Is that not important anymore to not be with a married man? So women nowadays, again, this Instagram life, this social media life, everything's based off of what you can do for me. So there's a group of women out here who would rather sleep and mess with a married man, break up a happy home, involve themselves in adultery and shit like that, instead of having their own man who might say no half of the time. And it's like, that's a thing. So even if it's just 11 people, and again, I'm not saying all women, but this lets me know that there's women who think like, you have to be doing something for me, and I'd rather be with a married man who I know is going to do something for me every time I ask, than my own man who's mine, who may tell me no sometimes.
So I don't think it has anything to do with this generation. It goes back to time immemorial again, when, you know, Mr. Clifford around the neighborhood had one family on one side of the town, another family on the other side of town. So women have been in agreement to share a man for a long time. I don't think it's generational. Shirley done called Barbara years ago. Hey, you know, this Shirley, can I speak to Barbara? You know, are you seeing my man? Like that. How many years ago was that a reason?
I'm not saying it was never a thing. I'm just saying, is it less of a thing? Like, do women now not really care about that? The morals of it. I'm not saying it's just started with this generation. Yeah, you're right. It's been around for years, but it just seems like because of the height of, or the temperature of, what are you doing for me? You buying me this, you taking me here, you flying me here, you doing everything I want to do because you telling me yes all the time.
I think that's a very small population, because
our grandmas wasn't like that, where you had to tell them yes all the time.
No, but I think that's a very small population of women who are actually getting that life. I do agree that there are a lot of women who are accepting to, you know, having a man that has somebody else and them just being a jump off or a side joint without the trips, without the gifts. So the gifts and the trips and the other stuff, that's just an incentive. But I think it's a very small percentage of women that's truly living that life of being flued out. Like, oh, you got this dude and he got a girl or he got a wife, but because he doing all this, nah.
How many percentage of the women? Okay, but I'm just saying it's a percentage. But how many women? How much the percentage of women you think are okay with sleeping with married men? I'm not talking about the flown out in the Birkin bag shit, not to that level, but I'm just saying you creeping with a married guy, you know he married, you know he got a family, and you good with it. It ain't no sweat off your back because you get what you want.
I can't quantify it, to be honest. I really can't, because I don't know a lot of what I can. As right now, as I'm sitting here and like thinking about women that I like know of, whether like close relationships or just like, you know, acquaintances, I can think of one person who I know
would mess with a married guy.
Yeah, who would be okay with being a jump off, like, but I can't quantify it. But I think part of it, which women kind of use to rationalize it, they have this mentality that men cheat anyway. So and it's almost like you lower your standards.
You have to make yourself okay with it because you think.
But it's like you lower your standards so that you can avoid this perceived heartbreak. Like,
and you're generalizing men when you don't want men to generalize women.
Where they have this mentality of, well, if I had my own man, he gonna be cheating on me anyway, so I might as well mess with somebody. I don't care about messing with somebody else who I know he's cheating with me, because it would be the same if I had my own man and he was cheating with somebody else. But it's like, why would you accept either side? You know?
I think my opinion is that I think social media affects a lot of this generation more than you might think so or give credit to, and I think there's a large portion of women, and large could be 30%, I don't know, but I'm just saying there's a percentage of women who sole mindset is, what can you do for me? And it doesn't matter if you're married, even though I know that's wrong, or if it was my husband, I wouldn't want you to cheat with him. All that stuff would be a double standard, but because this is convenient for me and I'm getting what I want, I'm okay with it.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I think girls are willing to cheat without even getting, not willing to cheat, but they're willing to mess with a married man without even getting anything out of it. So, and again, I don't even think that's a reason why I say I don't think it's so much of a social media influence, because how many women or how many people really promote that they're messing with somebody's husband? Like, it's like, that's
well,
not
I don't think it's something you would promote, but I'm just saying you might be cool with it, and like you said, it might be a group of friends, 10, 12 friends, and you might can think of one girl who would be okay with it. Some groups of girls might think, I got 5 of my girlfriends who I know will fuck a married guy.
Right, so, but that's what I'm saying. That's not something that you see from social media that, like, you know, I mean, you may know it because you know it.
The comments, babe. Girls be in the comments saying, I'd fuck a married guy in a heartbeat.
No, I'm talking about you wouldn't know that somebody else, like, okay, if you see a girl go, like, with a guy or going out, or, you know, a guy with a girl, it's not a message saying that, you know, this person is cheating with this person. So it's like that perception of, that social media influence. Maybe the social media influence comes in terms of what you can do for me, but I don't think that that social media is influencing people to mess with other people's partners. I think
maybe the influence isn't there because the picture, like you said, the promotion isn't there. I'm merely speaking under this question. When you click on the comments, there is 75% of females, whatever age bracket they is, you can't tell, who types out, I would fuck with a married guy in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
and it's like,
but that's what I'm saying. I don't think that's from social media influence. I think that's just who they are.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying. I think that's just who they are. I think that has nothing to do with social media. And again, most of those.
And you don't think that's geared behind, like, I just have a drive to get what I want, so maybe I'll lower a standard.
No, because a lot of these women ain't even getting nothing from the men except for
maybe
wet
they
ass.
getting what they want. Maybe not what you perceive as something to get, but maybe they getting what they want. Maybe they're getting they 40.
But
I'm just saying, maybe they getting what they want out of it.
But you presented it from a materialistic aspect. And that's what I'm saying. I think a lot of women are willing to be the jump off, are willing to be the side joint, are willing to, do that for not and not request nothing at all. They just willing to do it because they pick me. Or somebody picked me, and it is what it is. And it was a question that this girl asked about her messing with somebody's man or whatever, husband or boyfriend, and she was asking a panel, does this mean that he likes me more than he likes his wife? And this guy chewed her up and was like, yeah, he might like you more because you okay with him not being able to answer the phone when he with his wife, or you okay with him not taking you out on dates because he got to be home and be a family
or
man.
Can't be seen out.
Yeah, you not getting on his nerves about making sure that he take care of the responsibilities of his house, that he gonna make sure that he does. Like, you're okay with him just coming over, dropping off some semen, and then bouncing and not spending the night, and you ain't giving him no riffraff. So yeah, he might like you a little bit more because you don't get on his nerves about the things that his wife might be, motivating him to do and be a better person, but he loves her. So yeah, he might like you a little more in that moment because you ain't he don't have to deal with the nagging and the hassle. You ain't giving him no nagging and hassle. You letting him have his way. So why wouldn't he feel like, I like her a little bit more? She ain't getting on my nerves. If I tell her I don't have the rent money, it is what it is. She gonna make do. But I gotta pay the mortgage over here, this home. So, I mean, again, you had these women who had this perceived notion of, because they may be being cheated on, they may be with a married man or somebody who's in a relationship. Oh, he want me more, or he like me more than his wife. Like, you settling.
I agree.
And I'm not taking up for the man at all, but
I agree with what you're saying, but I do think that social media plays an influence. I don't know what influence, but I'm just saying, with the climate of the way women think today, not saying they didn't think on a level like that years ago, but I think it has heightened or influenced it in some kind of way, just seeing what's on social media. And which a perfect segue, because again, you gotta, what are you doing for me? Like, that's like something that wasn't 20 years ago. I mean, you helping me out, but now it's the forefront. Before I like you, before I love you, what the fuck are you doing for me? Which, going into Khalees and Bill Murray. So 75 years old, 42 years old. What would Khalees want with Bill Murray? Like, what would a black, now I'm just to take this on the surface because love can happen anywhere, but what would a black 43-year-old woman want with a 76-year-old white man? What experience do y'all have in common enough to be together? Especially when he's 76 and comes from an era of that. And when I say that, what I'm talking about.
But there are some anomalies to that.
Like, he's not a 45-year-old white man who may be a little liberal and a little who's open-minded now. I'm talking about a 76-year-old white man who, when he was 14,
to that.
I understand.
I don't
but
want to
when
put
he
that
was
on
14,
his jacket because we
he
don't
was 14, he was calling people niggas.
Nah, I don't want to. I don't think I wouldn't say that was true for all. Yes, he comes from that era.
Then that's all I mean. He comes from that era. Okay, I don't want to put that on his jacket. All I'm saying is he comes from that era.
Because you do have those few, a few anomalies. Like, I wouldn't think Robert De Niro was that kind of man.
I probably would, because he was an Italian kid, and that's what Italian people call blacks moolies. I would. Just like you see Jerry Jones in a photo as a kid.
Well, he's from Texas. I would expect. That's what I'm saying. I do agree, a lot of them, but I think there may have been some anomalies. Okay. Now, if this was any other woman, I would feel it would be weird to me. Khalees, though, is one of those characters, those people where it could be like. It could be like a pure tantric situation where, like, she's just a different kind of breed of woman. Like, she lives on a farm. She's like makes her own juices and berries.
That's all well and good, but you don't think for a second that there is a woman of a certain age who has an agenda, and I may like you, but I know that I'm thinking 10 steps ahead. And if I could get in, throw this old man some coochie, mess around with him, maybe get into a will or something, who knows?
Of course, I think there's women that have that kind of agenda. I don't look
And
at their
again,
situation
not all
like
women,
that.
but just, there got to be something that pass your mind. Like, this rich motherfucker worth all this money. I do like him a little bit. He is funny. He make me laugh. But if, I get a good, if we get something going, then maybe. Who knows?
I didn't think of that because it was her. If it was, I mean, there's a list of other people that it could have been that.
So you don't look at her like a hawk, like she ain't gonna swoop down.
That's even if like I look at her in that category
all women
of
are capable of that.
I mean, everybody's capable. I look at her as like a Erica Badu, Lauryn Hill. Now in a different kind of like I'm just saying
I'm walking.
more of a in a different kind of way, more of an individualist and who she is, how she lives. So I don't know. Maybe I'm giving her too much credit, but I don't look. That wasn't my thought. My thought was like he wrinkled. Like what do she see when he get naked?
He gonna look over and he gonna be napping and you gonna be talking to him like he just went to sleep.
And then I thought, you know what? He's probably really
his
funny.
His balls is probably tucked in his sock.
He's probably really funny. She's living on the farm. Like, they probably don't even touch each other. They probably have tantric mental sex, and it may be amazing. They may walk around the farm naked, stand under a tree, and just breathe each other's essence.
Come from the 80s. He come from that wild lifestyle of the 80s. He ain't fucking walking around at 76, balls dragging on the ground and thinking about sex. Like, if I could get this thing hard, I'm doing something with it.
He may have had enough in his life.
I may not, like, pop up tomorrow. I'm 76.
He may have had enough coochie where he's okay. No. Like, I don't know if that time ever come. I was say I don't know if that time ever come for a man.
Nope, men don't think that way at all. But women ain't shit. That's my unpopular opinion.
Wow.
Well, because y'all always say men ain't shit, but it be some women that doing some funky shit.
But you don't even really
I'm not saying
think
Khalees.
that.
I'm talking.
But I'm saying I know you and how much
for the women who do this kind of stuff.
No, I wasn't taking that towards Khalees, but I was just saying
I'm saying, what's the word I'm looking for? Satirically, that women ain't shit because y'all always say men ain't shit and we do some fuck shit. There's a lot of women out there who do some swoop down and get people type stuff. There's a lot of women who lead with that mentality of what are you doing for me before I even like you? And for y'all not shit. What's wrong with that?
Okay, you cleared it up. You just making a blanket statement. It was like, that's not even how you really think.
No, that's not how I really think.
But that's how you said it. So I appreciate the clarification.
Okay. I'm glad I was able to clear that up.
The asterisk that you added to it.
I'm glad I was able to clear that up because I don't think that all women ain't shit. But it's a lot of women, just like it's a lot of men that ain't shit. And I know that's hard for you to hear because you're a woman and you want to take up for them, but I don't take up for the men when you say men ain't shit. I just know there's some dudes out there who ain't shit.
But I know there are some awesome gentlemen, just like there's some magnificent women. So, but we do have some that, quality the water.
But what I tell you about that, though, just because somebody give the opinion of that ain't shit, you gonna go to the seesaw and go to the good side. Like, you gotta point that out.
No, but
it's like these people ain't shit. Yeah, but they a little bit. They're a little bit. They
when you make that banner statement, women ain't shit. It's like
it was satirically.
Okay, I
right. You know your husband, right?
It.
You know I don't really feel that way, so I don't know why you picking my unpopular opinion apart.
Cause that ain't your opinion. Your unpopular opinion really may be something that you really believe that's just unpopular. Okay.
Or it may not.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. Shannon Sharp.
Mm-hmm. I know you because I was trying to think like what was new in the news about him. I saw.
What do? Do you prepare?
No, I like to be shocked by what the show
By
is.
everything?
How am I going to prepare? I have no idea what the show is going to be about.
Be up on current events.
I was reading my book today.
I'm just asking.
I try to put the phone down, you know.
When you're by yourself, and when you're around me, you pick it up. Anyway,
I did see he had his last episode of the show Undisputed.
Yes.
And they say he got a little, you know, which is to be it's to be expected from anybody, but especially from him. Like, he just, you know, he's that country boy, so I can imagine him.
Yeah, he became and daring to people, and he was there for 7 years. You know, I really fuck with Shannon, so yeah. I mean, you know, of course it would be a little bit emotional. But yeah, shouts out to Shannon.
Was that ever a show that you like watch like regularly? Undisputed?
I mean, I watched it on
Oh, right, because you told me it was live, right?
Yeah, and it comes on at 9:30 in the morning.
Okay, I forgot.
It comes on at the same time as First Take with Stephen A. Smith. So I'm at work. I can't watch.
It's weird though. Now that you say that, it's like, why do they have sports shows like that at all when people are at work? Like, is it for unemployed people?
No.
Or is it for sports players who, like, it just makes you think, who is their target audience?
Some people listen to it on the radio, and that's how they consume it.
Oh.
So it's not always, you get a chance to watch it. And then when you go in any office building, you walk through the place where you buy food at, Sports Center or some shit like that is on.
Okay, I haven't worked in an office building in a long time.
Okay.
And we didn't have TVs, which would have been great.
Daniel Penny, the dude who choked the guy on the subway, was charged, for real.
Well, I haven't seen,
with murder.
So no longer manslaughter, murder.
Yeah, with murder for choking him out.
Awesome. So
hopefully
it sticks. But do you know what was nasty about that? Like, the after effects. Seeing the people, Kid Rock was one of them who contributed to his legal fund.
Yeah, Kid Rock is that guy though. Who supports some white hooded people.
Yeah.
He's cut from that cloth and is not shy about it.
No,
not at all. He's not shy about it.
It's
not at all.
Does it make you not want to sing "Sweet Home Alabama"?
And you know what? They say he a lot at his concerts, that's his audience, and he doesn't mind expressing some of that kind of stuff on stage. Like, he may wave a Confederate flag on stage, depending on what state he's in. And that's on stage, a big ass 20-foot Confederate flag if he's playing in Nashville or Texas.
It's probably not a good idea for black people to go to his shows.
Probably not, because that's the audience he attracts.
And you talking about drunk people, them getting riled up. You never know what's gonna pop out somebody's mouth. It's probably a good idea to stay away from.
You learn anything this week?
Did you know that June is Black? I don't like when why are you turning your back to me?
My back? I'm looking right at you.
I couldn't see. Did you know that June is Black Men's Mental Health Month?
No, they just made that shit up. Oh, fuck out of here, man.
I was gonna say, it definitely sounds...
I don't celebrate nothing until it's around for 20 years.
It definitely sounds like something that is made up. I think the thought of, wanting to dedicate some focus on Black men's mental health is great. But it's one of those...
National Feline Day or National Dog Day or some shit.
There are days like that.
It is National Canine Day?
Yeah.
Feline Day too?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's National Pizza Day, National Cupcake Day, National Hamburger Day.
That's stupid shit. I'm talking about something like you just spoke of. Not fucking Hamburger Day.
Well, June is National Black Men's Mental Health Month. And it just makes me...
who's gonna fucking respect that?
That's the thing. It kind of takes away from... we have, May...
How many annuals you think that's gonna be?
Mental Health Awareness Month. But then it kind of, I don't know. Do you think we start to dilute the... that we start to dilute the efficacy of these awareness initiatives when we... May being Mental Health Awareness Month. I understand Black men's mental health awareness is important because we have so many Black men who haven't focused on it. But you think we start to dilute it?
Yeah, because awareness is awareness. It shouldn't be specific to of race. Like if there's enough awareness going around America, then it's awareness for everybody. Everybody sees all the awareness going around about mental health. You don't specifically need awareness, I guess, to tell black, white, Chinese, like who, Asian, whatever, anybody. Awareness is awareness. It's around. Like if you want help, there's places you can get help. But I don't think you specifically need to be told that you yeah, I know. I don't believe in stuff like that. Like how many annuals you think that's gonna get?
Yeah, I don't know.
One, and then the second 1 year they're gonna be like, what's that? Oh, that thing we had last year, let's do that again. Like, no. What is it called again?
Black Men's Mental Health Awareness.
It sounds nice, but what did they say just got on the books that was black? I just read. Oh, Ice Cube's Big 3 was just recognized in America as the first black sports league. And it's been out for like 5 years. But it made me think, like, does something like that have to be registered as a quote unquote
like a thing?
Yeah, thing in America. But after all this time and all the greatness it's done, all the ratings and all that stuff, like this is the recognition you get. Yeah, you're a part of a business.
He's the sole owner.
Maybe I think him and his partner.
Okay. Wow. Shout out to Ice Cube.
3 grams. First gram, Daniel Penny was charged with murder for choking fellow on the subway.
As he should be.
Right. I think he should have been the first time. He shouldn't have been let go.
Question.
Yeah.
So I saw he got indicted by the grand jury. So when that happens, that means, okay, that's evidence enough to move forward with the trial?
Yeah, that's evidence to tell the DA to charge this case.
Okay,
like
okay.
His murder was his fault.
Yeah, I seen
the
him.
Grand jury, you're what do you call it? Deposed.
Okay.
Like a deposition where you're asked a bunch of questions. So that's what he went through.
Yeah, I seen him coming out of the court with handcuffs on. He ain't look all like smiley face and righteous like he did, previously. He look a little pale, like, oh boy, I might be in trouble.
Yeah,
as he should be.
The look of shit get real is, that's what it looks like when shit get real.
Anybody who live in any urban city with subways and so forth, even I heard New Yorkers say, I mean, it's not as bad in Philly as it is in New York, but people are down there every day saying stuff, making loud noise,
naked.
Doing weird stuff. But from what I heard, he had not threatened anybody. He had not threatened bodily harm to anybody.
Nope.
If anything, he was threatening to hurt himself or making insinuations about being tired of life, because as we talked about before, he had a horrible paper route. His mom got found on the side of the road in a suitcase after being killed by her boyfriend when he was 14 years old. Like, come on.
Yeah, he was never right in the head after that.
And then I think I mentioned this before too, I seen people saying, oh, his family show up for this, but where were they to help him? Do you know how many people are suffering and their families can love them as much as they want, but it's hard to help people.
And sometimes it gets to a point where in that relationship and in family where they gotta love them from afar. Like they've done all that already and been through the turmoil, helping them and all that. So their disease, their mental illness is much bigger than just like, their brother being there to help them every hour of the day.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't work that way. Yeah. Boosie arrested. My man God. Boosie, I fuck with Boosie, but some evidence came out of Boosie beat his state gun charge and then walked out. And this isn't the first time I heard this, but the feds pick you right up as soon as you get done with the case. It's like you don't know it. They don't tell your lawyer nothing. It's just as soon as you think you free, you not.
So does that mean he really beat the case, or the state knew?
No, he beat the state case. The state knew.
That's what I'm saying. The state knew that the feds was going to pick it up, so they just so he didn't really beat it. They just let it fall by the wayside because they knew the feds would pick it up.
No, I don't think they let it fall by the wayside, because the worst outcome of that situation is being convicted for the gun by the state, doing 5 years, coming home on your last day, and then the feds picking you up.
Oh,
so it could. That's
that's not double jeopardy.
No, the state and feds. It's two different entities. The state can't try you twice, but the feds can pretty much do what they want. So in a situation like that, that was like the best outcome is for me to beat the state and then have this start immediately. So this process of me going to jail starts immediately, not after I do 2 years in state. Then the day I get out, the feds ain't my ride. I mean, the feds is my ride.
My thing is this, Boosie. You know, he's an old soul, very traditional in his thinking. I may not agree.
It ain't a lot of him left.
I might not agree with everything that he says, but I love the fact, right or wrong, that he stands firm on what he says. You know, you gotta respect people that stand 10 toes down, even when sometimes it's like loosen up a little bit. But
if they believe it, they believe it.
Yeah. But it's like when you know you're facing this kind of time and charges and you know you're just supposed to stay out of trouble. To have to apologize to your kids, you know, you talk about how great of a dad you are and how of an active father you are, and nobody can be blamed but yourself for now interrupting that.
Yeah.
Nobody else can be blamed for that.
This video, you going around now talking about how you cried when your son don't have your hair cut. So I mean, you care about your family. I mean, in that sense. And then there's extra video that came out that has a video of him with a gun in his waistband. So it just looked bad for my man Boosie right now, especially when you're dealing with the feds.
You gonna post free Boosie
when you got social media and all that kind of shit going on. Like it's a real problem for him. But I hope he works it out.
You gonna post free Boosie till it's backwards?
They should free Boosie. Boosie don't bother nobody. He just, speak his talk.
But we talk about consequences for not following the rules.
It is. It's consequences. You can't have guns. You can't be affiliated with gang members. And, if part of your life is like that, then, you can get caught up. And I'm sure he knows that. He knows that from where he comes from, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Yeah, he know that. Mm-hmm. The guy was on death row before. Like, not many people that we are entertained by today have that story of, bro, I was on death row, like for 5 homicides. Like that's not a lot of people come out of that. Come out of that, and he did. Yeah, so I hope he makes it out. DC opened up his mouth, and spoke about his wife Jackie O and his kids at the funeral, and it was powerful. It was inspirational to say the least. I don't think I would have that kind of strength, but it is amazing to see such a young person, but everybody knows he has an old soul. I mean, his dad had him when he was 61 years old. Mm-hmm. He has brothers in their 60s. So it's just crazy to see a person that strong. You would expect something like that from somebody old, like real old, to be like, that's just kind of cliche and it's what you say. It's but when his speech was like, had all the cliches of I'm strong and we gonna stand down and my kids are all right, but you felt it. It was like, that's not him just saying that. Like he really, really, really believes that, and it's a powerful thing to see.
I think him being a man of faith, because if you have watched any of his material, like he's someone who was raised as was raised as a Christian. Like,
mm-hmm.
He talks about the Bible. He's very knowledgeable. And I think that was just evidence of his faith. He doesn't know what tomorrow holds in terms of his emotions, but I guess if anything you got to hold on to is just your faith, and probably knowing every day ain't going to be good,
mm-hmm.
but I'm going to be good every day.
Right.
Like, I'm going to make it. And you got to hold on to something, because if not, then you're going to crumble.
Yeah.
And him having children, it's like, what?
It's an incentive to stand tall.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have the strength, it's like you got to try to find it for them.
Yeah. I hope that in this season of the world, I'll call it, that so much promotion on mental health, if he is not already involved in mental health services and therapy services, I hope that people reach out to him, because it's going to be needed. Because as strong as he's being, I hope that someone is reminding him you don't have to always be that strong. Mm-hmm. Like in this moment, it's great to see. It is powerful, but nobody's looking to you to be that strong.
Right.
In that
everybody's moment. In awe of it. And also, grief is a process. So it catches everybody. So it's not nothing as strong as you are, and you can't dodge it.
Right.
Like it will hit him. It in ways that I don't know. Like maybe not the normal ways that it'll hit a person who is not as strong as him, but it will hit him in some way, shape, form, or fashion.
Absolutely.
And in the midst of all this, I mean, well, yeah, it will hit him. Because I don't want to sound like insensitive, like you gonna be in pain and all that shit, but it just will hit him in a way that he might not know or see right now.
Definitely. But I hate to say shout out. Prayers for him and his family. And, even Jackie O's family, there hasn't been much conversation. I mean, they weren't at public. He's the public figure. They both were public figures. Mm-hmm. So we don't know who is the rest of her family. But they lost, a daughter, a niece, a sister, whomever else her family members are. Yeah.
And in the midst of all this, her product line, makeup line, shot through the roof. And we talked about this insatiable appetite for people to follow people who have passed on or have transitioned on. Like what is that? Like where a person just is like, Tupac died, now his record sold 5 million. Biggie died, and the same thing. And Aaliyah and Left Eye, like all this kind of shit happens when people pass on, and no different from her.
I think it's this weird phenomenon that happens, and I've seen somebody comment about it before, like when somebody passes and then people follow their page. It's like, they're not going to post anything. And maybe like, I have access to, your page. So maybe they think family members are, I don't know. It's like, what are you looking for? So it's either one or two things. Like people are being weird in a way of like, oh, she passed and now, I want her products. Or it just may have drawn attraction to her page, or in a very sad way brought exposure to her products, because I
didn't know she had products.
I didn't even know she was a public figure, to be honest. Like I had seen pictures of him and her and their children. I didn't know she came from Wild 'N Out, so I didn't know she was as much of a public figure as he was. Mm-hmm. So if I had
became a mom when she got with him off of Wild 'N Out.
If I had went to look at her page after she passed through, like I had never seen her page before. So now if I go to look at it and I see, she has a link for makeup products, and now I like them, then I may purchase. So it's probably some of both. I would say it's probably a lot of people just, like you say, the posthumous thing of like buying merchandise or records. People just have this this thing of like wanting to be part of something. I remember when Nipsey Hussle died, I had started listening to Nipsey shortly before. I can't say like I was a long time fan, but I remember his last album had came out and it was receiving some accolades, and I wanted to listen, and I started listening to it. So when he died, it was like, damn, I was just getting to know who he was. So right. I can't front like I was some long time fan, but I know after he died, then I saw people who I had never before seen talking about him, was like, okay, it's that bandwagon thing. Good, bad, or indifferent.
Nipsey, Pop Smoke, it happened with everybody. But I would like to think that, and I know it's driven by social media, and it's sort of a weird evil about it, a weird eeriness about it. I would like to think in my own head that it's people thinking, well, maybe they own this and this will go to their kids. And this is a way that I can donate. This is a way that that their estate will be okay. Like, this is a way of me saying, damn, I'm sorry that this happened. Instead of, damn, like I want to follow this now because this person's there, even though I know it's really that.
But people are pocket watchers, and I would think that people look at DC and don't think he need any financial help for his children. But if there are people that are thinking big hearted in that way, then that's great. If her, but now the conversation is probably what is the future state. Mm-hmm. It would be great if there was, some family members or business partners or whomever that would continue the business, so that maybe that could be funds, not that he may need it for his children, but that could be something to pass down, specifically for his children, that the money that's made through that business. But who's to say, you know, what the future is?
Sending healing energy to DC and rest in peace to Jackie O.
Yes.
Let's do a wrap. Act to the podcast, episode 127. Act2thepodcast.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, and Twitter. We're all on those platforms. Oh yeah, I did check. I checked this week. We still there.
All right now.
I check weekly, and I still see us. So y'all should see us. It's your boy International Walt.
It's your girl Tosh, the co-host with the mostest.
And that's Act to the Podcast, episode 127. If you fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't, you should. Peace.